Hannah Webb, aka the Obanoth, is a painter and illustrator currently living in Los Angeles, California. She has produced several large-scale murals across the US and also produces a wide range of work for a variety of clients such as Uniqlo, Samsung, HP, Paramount, and more. She's currently sponsored by art suppliers such as Liquitex, Holbein, and Trekell Art Supplies, and has been featured by LAD Bible, Board Panda, Create Magazine, Juxtapose, and many more. Her personal art style is defined by technique and application and dynamic color, and is blocky, pixelated, and bright. Her work usually represents animals, human features, or objects up close, broken down into interpretations of light and color. Hannah's paintings are designed to exist carefully between mechanical and fluid, representational and abstract. Here's our conversation with the Obanoth. Welcome to another episode of Origins. Today on the show, we are pleased to have Hannah Webb. Hannah, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. And we will start the show off the same way we start every show. Please share with us your origin story. Tell us about your creative journey.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a big, very broad question. So I think like a lot of people have just always produced art. I mean, from childhood, whatever. I mean, of course, most kids draw, right? Most kids have crayons. Definitely like gravitated really heavily towards it. My father is an architect, which I think probably helped. We always had a lot of paper, a lot of materials around. So I think it was definitely something that was like available to me, which helped. I did end up going to art school. So I grew up in the Midwest in Ohio, and then I moved to California when I turned 18, and I attended art school for 4 years. I got a bachelor's degree. And I think that when you're in art school, you really feel like that's going to answer all the questions of like how to be an artist or like what to do from there. But for me, and I think for a lot of people, it didn't. I feel very strongly and very positively about going to art school. I personally recommend it a lot. But I think a lot of the development of my style and of my career and things like that really happened independently and happened like after that. So I mean, I graduated art school in 2010. And so this whole time I've just been like producing and trying to figure out my space. I've explored a lot of different media. I've worked digitally. I graduated school as like watercolor and oil painting. And then I was like screen printing in my studio apartment. I did digital stuff forever. I thought about design. I considered animation for a while and like motion graphic stuff, things that I tested and abandoned. I think like a lot of people, I did a lot of different things over many, many years and then landed sort of where I am now as an acrylic painter.
I love that, Hannah. Like the only way I can explain it, like my brother, like all the rest of my family, they went to school for engineers. You go to school for engineering, you get the degree, and then you get the job. Like, right? When you go to school for art, you're right, it's good, but it doesn't give you the job, right?
Well, and the job is kind of confusing to define. I mean, even today,
Yes.
I don't know that my family or most of my friends really totally understand like what I'm doing every day. So, like, I'm a full time artist now, but for a long time, I was kind of doing art alongside my day job and kind of balancing things and juggling things and kind of trying to make both things work. So, now that I do this full time, even I sometimes at the end of the week, I mean, I consider myself a painter, but sometimes I really only am able to paint some odd hours in a week. And I'm like, what am I doing? And it's because, I'm answering emails, I'm applying to things, I run an online store. I mean, I do a lot of different client stuff, I do a lot of content stuff, so like video and editing and things like that. So, I think the reason why it's hard to pick a direction from an art school perspective is because I think that what it means to be a professional artist is so different person to person. I think that there's so many different ways to execute it and people find their strengths. I think it kind of unfolds as you put in time and days and weeks and months and years. Eventually you start to figure out what is working for you specifically, and then if you pay enough attention to that, you can kind of chase that. So like having to learn from different teachers with different approaches, having to get feedback from people that I wouldn't have sought feedback from, those are the things that made art school worth it for me. So it wasn't like here is how to build a job the way I think a lot of people see college. But, for me, it was super impactful. Also, I mean, because I like to draw and I'm from Ohio. I mean, I really didn't have a lot of access to, to a variety of information. So it was really critical for me to like see what was out there. And there was no way for me to do that without getting out there. There's only so much research you can do from your bedroom. So yeah, I think art school, the concept of art school is a little controversial, but for me, I thought it was great.
I love that. I mean, I think that I relate a lot to that because it was the same thing for me. Like I actually graduated with a biology degree, then went back
Mm,
for a second bachelor's for art because it was the same way. I was like, oh, I know this isn't gonna give me a job, but I want to learn the technical skills and then hopefully figure out the job afterwards or while I'm doing it. Hannah, for you, how did you go about learning the job, right? Which I know for you is working with brands like Liquitex, you're doing merchandise, you're doing prints, you're doing original painting and doing gallery stuff, illustrations, commissions. You have such a wide breadth of the types of art that you make to make this a full-time job. How did you go about figuring out, like, what was your journey from like, all right, I have now this watercolor and oil degree. How am I going to start figuring out the business end of things?
yeah, I mean, definitely not a straight line. So I like for me, my main thing has always been, and I think for a lot of artists is just sort of this insatiable need to create stuff. Like I want to draw. I like doing it. I genuinely want to, put pen to paper. Like that is the thing that has always floated me. And because of that, I just have always been, adding more and more and more to the pile. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm making all these paintings. They're, starting to get a little better. I mean, my earlier career stuff, I honestly kind of think sucks, but that's because I didn't have enough practice yet. It's not a bad thing, but it's like I'm making a ton of work. I was like, okay, what does someone do when they have a whole bunch of paintings? It's like, okay, you try to sell them or you try to show them. So I'm like, okay, let's do that. So, I mean, I started on social media. I was like posting on Instagram, whatever, like everyone does. I was cold emailing galleries. So I was just like Googling art galleries, things that were like wildly beyond like what I would qualify for. I mean, I bet a lot of like big name galleries probably are rolling their eyes and probably still in the depths of their inboxes have an email from me with like, like, hey, hello, my name is Hannah and I would like to show you my paintings. If I could be in a show, let me know. Which, honestly, it takes some guts, and I am proud of my younger self for doing it. I think that a lot of that was not successful, but some of it was. And some smaller galleries or local things or people, whatever, were kind of willing to give me a shot, apparently. So, then it's like, okay, I can wedge into some group shows, oh, do you want to participate in a drink and draw? Do you want to put up a merch table at an event for something totally not art related at all? And I just said yes. I just did absolutely everything. So, hey, do you want to be involved? Yes. Hey, do you want to show up to this? Yes. Do you want, this is 2 hours away. Do you want to drive here and set up your work and maybe not sell anything? Yes, like 100% of things I did. And honestly, like that was hard because I have always worked full time. I've never had the freedom to just not have a job or not make money. I'm not from whatever that is. So like I've always had 9 to 5 jobs, often had additional jobs. I was working for an art gallery. Sometimes I worked on and off at restaurants. I just anything really. So, I've always been scrappy. The answer has been yes. And I've always been comfortable with the fact that anything that you want to do is going to take more time than you like maybe feel like spending. So like, if you work all week and then it's like, hey, Friday night, you have to get all of your stuff ready for a thing and you have to leave the house at 6 in the morning on Saturday to go do it. I mean, when the thing that's driving you is like a love for producing and a love for art and wanting to like do it bigger and better and to more people, you just do that. So I basically just did stuff like that, like anything I could find, researching, emailing, reaching out to people, chatting people up at gallery openings, like absolutely anything. And then it kind of grows, and I decided I wanted to try to make like merchandise stuff. I started on, I think, enamel pins and stickers and things like that were among the first things that I was trying to figure out. I had, a lot of bad experiences. I didn't really know how to like prepare files to be like interpreted or printed correctly. So I ended up with a lot of stuff that was crappy. I worked with a lot of vendors that were bad. I mean, but honestly, it was like anything I was willing to try. And I think doing that for so long, what ended up happening is I built up an audience on social media, like kind of slowly but surely. And I think the reason why people cared to follow along is because I was never trying to tell everyone that I had it all figured out. I was never like, I am a a complete professional, whatever, this is it, buy this today, has never been my angle. It's always been like, I'm trying to do this better. This time was better than last time. Look, I'm working on this. I did this because I'm trying to figure out this, like I'm trying to do more observational work. Here's a couple attempts. Oh, a month later, okay, I've been practicing this and I feel like this is a little strong, so it's always been about about a journey for me. And I think that when you are genuine about the thing that you want and what you're doing to get there, I think that people are genuinely interested in like following along and hearing about that. So I've always been pretty honest about about what I'm doing. I've never done any gatekeeping of anything. I'm always extremely clear about all of the materials that I use. I'll share vendors for things with different artists. I will share contacts with people as is appropriate, I guess. But like I've always tried to do as much as possible, as honestly as possible, and I think that things just kind of grew. So I in 2014 I moved from Orange County to Los Angeles, and 2014 was the first year that I attended DesignerCon actually. And I went, and I had like little tables set shows and stuff before, but I'd never been to like a full art convention thing like that. And I went and walked around and was just absolutely mind blown. This was when it was in Pasadena. It was just like, wow, like there are so many professional artists and people do so much different stuff. Like stylistically, the range was huge. The types of things people, some people were making books and prints and like kind of the expected merch stuff, but then there's toys and people had originals. And for me, that was sort of another big aha of like, oh, here's actually an entire other universe of things that I could be doing and things that are working for other people, and that kind of lit a new fire. So the very next year I did DesignerCon for the first time. So I attended and then got on the email list, and the moment spots opened up, I applied and did it immediately. So that's just really always been the way that I've done things, is like find it, figure it out, and do it, even if you don't feel ready for it or qualified for it. Let other people disqualify you because they will, and that's okay. But I've tried not to tell myself no. I've always just tried to just go for things and come what may. And some things work and some things don't. But I think that, that kind of trickle and scrappy and try it and figure it out is sort of how I've landed where I am. What I got out of it, as far as I'm concerned, is really a free class. I have applied the things that I learned from those people to a lot of other projects. So for that, it was like, does this benefit me? Like, does taking on this project benefit me? Is it networking? Is it skill building? Like, what is it? And is the reason why they're not paying me enough, is it because they can't afford to? or is because they don't want to. Because in the Pepsi example, they don't want to. In this example, they really couldn't afford to. But what I ended up with, what I walked away with after that project was honestly like a crash internship almost, and something that, I mean, a lot of people would do totally for free if it had a different name on it. So it's like, if you consider participating in things valuable beyond the paycheck, I think that there are a lot of ways that you can like get to know professionals. You can add contacts, either client type contacts or just like professional network type contacts. I think that getting in that room, it can be valuable. And so like I have a lot of examples of stuff like that where I was on the fence about whether I should do it. I knew I'm not going to convince people to pay me beyond what their budget allows for this. Like they'll find someone else, and end of conversation. That's fine. And it's fine to pass and decide where you have time for this kind of thing and where you don't. But in a couple instances, it's like, okay, how can I change this from being something that I'm delivering to them to something that they're giving to me? Think that I have taken away a lot from those types of projects. So you do have to be savvy. It's not the same as working for free, and you do have to look deeper into what the thing is to decide if you want to take this kind of thing on. But the reality is that there's a lot of artists out there. There's a lot of people. There's only so many opportunities, and I mean, of course, at only so many is a lot. You know, I'm trying to be sensitive, but sometimes something crosses your bow that might be bigger than the thing that it is. I think that occasionally taking a knee to learn instead of just considering yourself a permanent professional, I'm at the top of my game 100% of the time, going, okay, I am not a total 100% professional. And I think that this is something that could push me in that direction, I think is valuable. So that's kind of what I mean by not go work for free, do anything for free, but keep a broader mind than just like earning money for something. Because obviously earning money for something is wonderful. That's awesome. That's level one. But like what else? What else could a project teach you or a community of people teach you? So yeah, I think that's maybe hopefully more what I mean.
That's actually some of the best advice you could give somebody, and it's the give and take. Before I pull on some stuff more, I love this story because I think this is a teaching moment on the podcast. So literally yesterday, so my day job, I'm the chief storyteller at Microsoft, and I was talking to someone who will name nameless at Microsoft, but very high up in Xbox, about we've been trying to do projects together with DesignerCon, and he's all in. So I can talk about last year we were going to get Kano to do some controllers, and we got it all the way through. And of course, it never happened. And why it never happened is people above him went, well, what do we get out of this? And he's like, well, we get this and controllers. And well, who's Kano? And he's like, he has this many followers. He's this guy. And they would go, well, money wise, that's stupid for us. We're Microsoft. We don't want to play with these guys. And so they back away, and the guy and I are pissed. Then 3 months later, Taylor Swift came to Microsoft, and they're like, oh, we want to play with Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift, like, okay, you have to give me $2 million. And they're like, I don't want to spend that money. Yeah, right. See, look on your face, Hannah. It's like, when you're dealing with corporations, that's their mentality. They have some of these, and their brands, they have such egos that they think they're better than this, and they're at this level, but they don't want to give and take, right?
Right.
And as an artist, like you're talking about, that's the thing you have to understand. Here's the teaching moment. Like, do you want to deal with that shit or not? And is it worth it? Like you're saying, well, maybe I'll play with, let's use Microsoft. Maybe I'll play with Microsoft, but I might get something else out of it, right?
Right.
Your teaching experience, or you become friends with that art director, right? Who can lead you to other things.
Right.
But
Yeah.
anyway, there's the teaching moment. The other side.
Or maybe that becomes the most impressive thing in your portfolio. Now you have this like kind of big holy shit item to stamp all over your portfolio, and maybe based on the kind of jobs that you want, maybe that would make a big difference. Maybe that would be really impactful based on the direction you want to go or the stuff that you're into. So, like, it's a nuanced conversation. It is not black and white. This is exactly what this costs. This is the end of the conversation. There's more to consider.
So I want to ask you how, because I did the same, and I know Rick did the same, and everyone does the same. When did you, for lack of a better term, realize what your value was to yourself? At what point
Yeah,
in your journey?
I feel like, I mean, I guess it depends what you mean by value, like value of my time or like value of my
I left it
paintings or
yeah, I'm gonna sorry, no, I purposely left it vague to you because it's what you determine is your value. Like for
yeah,
me, it's my time. Like I
right.
have a family, my family comes first. Now I'm old. So what it depends what your value is.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I've just sort of edged up prices of things and prices of my time. And I've also started saying no a lot more, obviously. I don't say yes and do every project that crosses my bow anymore. I mean, I used to when I had time for it, but now the reality is just that I just don't. I don't have time. And I also am not in a position anymore where I need to say yes to every tiny thing. So that built up. I don't know that there was like a single moment where I was like, okay, all done. Everything's good now. Time to get picky. I think it was more just like, there's only so many hours in the day. And at a certain point, it's like, if my price point, if every painting I make is $100 and it sells in 10 seconds, then then they should be more than $100, right? So like that's an abstract, but you get it. So like I think just over time, it's like if I did this project, it would take me 3 days and it pays this much. And at this point, I cannot sacrifice 3 days at that price point. I just can't. So that's how I have made those adjustments. It's happened really naturally for me, I think. And also, had I had a full-time job. I had a 9 to 5 until 2021, actually. And the reason why I ultimately quit is because I ran out of time, and it got to the point where it was interfering with my ability to say yes to things that I really wanted. So the working 9 to 5 and then doing art full time worked for me for many years because again, I work like crazy. I'm scrappy. I'm comfortable with that. That breakneck speed has just been fine with me forever. But I don't want to do that anymore. I'm wearing out. So I decided, I think, that like something's got to give. And if something's got to give, it's not going to be the art thing. So the job gave. And what has filled in that other time is more projects, and it snowballs. I had enough projects when I quit my job to sustain me. But now that I have more time, it just seems like that time gets just filled right up, doesn't it? So now I'm over busy all over again, just with the art stuff now. So yeah, I don't know that it's ever like, this is the moment where this changes. But sometimes you realize you're getting a lot of opportunity. Things are coming to you. You're not hunting for things yourself all the time. And when you start to sort of get a stream of project offerings in your inbox or whatever, I mean, then you can kind of say, I have to pick three. And that's how you end up saying no. So it's great. Saying no is the best. I hadn't done it for many years. But now that I am saying no to things, it's really awesome.
Awesome. So Hannah, I mean, I think there's gonna be artists who are going to listen to this and be like, damn, I want to be able to say no to projects or to have a glut of things coming in my inbox. But it's obvious to us, I think, and to most people with any perspective, is that like, yeah, you've really busted your ass for a very long time. And we've talked about the ups and downs. And I'd like to go back to something you said about how people like 4 emails, they don't get responded and then they give up. And I think that's
Mhm.
very common for a lot of people. And so I would love to hear your thoughts on how do you like what's driven you through all of those the playing card projects or getting the rejection from galleries or not hearing anything, right? Which might be even worse.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through how you've thought about keeping on even with all of the hurdles?
Yeah. I mean, more recently, I've heard, I'm going to get the quote wrong, but it's something like you should aim for 100 rejections a year, something like that. And it's like the point is that you should be going for things that are beyond what you consider your skill level. I think people are bad at self identifying, like when it comes to their proficiencies and things like that. The 100 rejections a year is a concept that basically removes the fear of rejection a little bit because when you anticipate it, you're less afraid of it, right? So it's like, I am going to apply for things that are beyond that I normally never would. I'm gonna collect those no's. It's totally fine. And then when they come in, you're like, okay, add to the pile, get in the nose. Here we go. That I heard more recently, but I do think that I kind of maintained that perspective before that, which really is just that. I mean, I knew that I wasn't fully polished. I have, of course, like people know that, oh, my work is better than it was yesterday, but not as good as it will be tomorrow, right? I think that understanding that you have been practicing and have come a long way is great, but that the timeline is a lot wider than then to now. I don't think anyone at any point in time is finished, like all good, all ready for anything, qualified for all stuff. I think that if you're honest about the fact that you are learning, and all of us are learning, I'm learning, everyone's learning, then you don't worry so much about being told that you're not good enough. It's not about being hard on yourself either. It's just about like recognizing that there is a long timeline as an artist. I think that you can start young and you can do it until you're really old. And I think a lot of people don't feel like they really hit their stride for a long time. And there's some stuff that you might think that you like a lot that other people don't like. There's stuff that you make that you don't like that other people love. Some paintings of mine that I really don't think are very good are some of the more popular ones. Everyone has their own perspective on your work and on your progress and on your direction and where you are. I don't think that it is finite. I don't think that you ever land and are done and are qualified. And I think that when you apply and you get a lot of those no's, I think that what it does is it reminds you that you are a work in progress with your work. And I think that that's a positive thing. So, I mean, honestly, like, what's the worst that could happen? It's not like if you send a very polite, not, hey, if you don't look at this, I'm going to hunt you down. But I mean, if you email a gallery and you say, I am a painter, I have been working for this long, I do this, whatever, please take a look at some of my work if you have time. I would appreciate any feedback. If there are group show opportunities, I would love to be considered. Here's my contact information. Nobody is going to receive that and be like, oh, wow, this person is a real piece of shit. I just like they might not feel that you're appropriate or ready or something. That's okay. It's fine to not be appropriate or to not be ready or to one thing or another. It's okay. I think that making peace with things not working and doing it anyway, like moving forward anyway, is the only way to move forward. I don't think that you can get to the point of being a professional artist if you struggle with no, because no maybe doesn't feel good. Nobody's going to pretend like we love to get no. Obviously, we all prefer to get yes over no, but like it's just part of it. Like you just can't dodge it, so just make friends with it. Make friends with no. It's okay. I mean, you'll never make anything ever again. I get rejected from stuff still all the time. I apply to things that I don't get, and it's just like, yeah, well, all right, okay, next thing, try again, maybe next year. There's no way to try new things if you exclusively plan to win. You're just not going to be good at everything. It's not the way the world works. So I think that if you just accept that the journey is long and that you will get some expected no's and some surprise yeses, that if you can be fueled by that partially, but fueled mostly by just your own desire to create and desire to do projects and make stuff, then you'll just keep doing it. But I think that the social media world might make some of this feel a little bit more performative. So it's like, here I am being awesome. And if not enough people like your post or tell you that it's awesome, you feel bad about it. All of those things, all the expectations, all that kind of stuff needs to go away. Make stuff and do stuff because you want to make stuff and do stuff. And if someone says no, move on to the next thing. It's just, I don't know what to say about not getting discouraged other than don't. Just don't get discouraged. It's part of it. We all do it. We all get no's. It's not weird. It's not unusual. It's not, you're not worse for it. You don't need to be embarrassed about it. It's not that you shouldn't have tried. It's we're all getting no's. Every professional artist, my entire artist community, friends, we talk about, oh hey, did you apply for insert project that was posted publicly? Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, do you know who got that? No, I don't know. None of us did. I mean, it's like all the time. It's a fact of life. I don't think that it's reasonable to live in the world of an artist without just being okay with the fact that it's a process. So that's how it goes. I mean, it's why people play the lottery for their whole lives, right? I mean, they get no every time. You think they're not buying lotto tickets still? I mean, maybe you'll get a yes, and for some people that possibility is worth moving forward. It applies to a lot of stuff.
That's a great one. Hannah, you remind me a quick story because it's Chris and I got to tell stories. When I was at Marvel, I was lucky enough to be working in X-Men office when X-Men was hot and Bob Harris was the editor and Scott Liddell was the writer. And Scott wrote something, it sold. And Bob Harris made Scott bring it in to show me. Scott walked in with the pile that thick of rejection levels from Marvel Comics.
Wow.
And he's like, and now he's the top writer. Like, you got to learn to accept the no.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept
Yeah.
them all.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, of course. Of course, like why not? It's a trophy.
Yeah. Oh, I had my Disney ones. You know, Disney said no to me all the time. I'd be remiss if we don't do it. Someone who came to the show this year was like, you got to go see this art. You got to go see this art, which was end of the story. It was your art. But she was like, I don't know how she does it. It's amazing. And I'm like, oh, that's Hannah's stuff. Like she's amazing and blah, blah, blah. Part of the reason I like this show is as an artist, we introduce each other to other artists and other influences. So I'd love to hear artists you like, people that influences you, because to me, that makes our community better, makes our people better.
Most of the art that I follow and look at does not look anything like mine. I do follow, I mean, I say follow both literally like on Instagram, but also sort of metaphorically. Like I follow the journey of a lot of different people. I mean, a lot of illustrators. I was really into animation. I used to work at a school that was specific to like video game design. I was the director of admissions for that for a long time. So I really like 3D and game relevant stuff. I think is cool. A lot of kind of contemporary painters, obviously. I think that a lot of the time when people ask that question, I think they're sometimes, not that this is you, but sometimes trying to figure out like what is similar or how you fit in to your network of artists of a genre. And I feel like my art network is all over the place, like super all over the map. So it's hard for me to like make a list of like specific people. Like, I mean, even just, I don't know if you can see just behind me on camera. I don't know if you obviously see this if you're listening, but I mean, I have a skateboard deck by June Lagoon. I have a screen print by Little Friends of Printmaking. I have over here is a landscape painting by Jim Musil. I think I'm saying that right. I guess I'm not sure. I have a little Alison Bamcat piece behind me. I have a stained glass piece that was made for me. I did an art trade with somebody in the UK that does kind of funky, kind of surrealistic oil paintings. 400 ml is behind me, does spray paint, really beautiful portrait stuff. I have a good number of toys and things sort of on my shelves, deeply all over the place. And also in my home, I don't have hanging up any of my own work. I exclusively have work by other people. So I had Herfer hand painted. He does like sign art and stuff. He made me this big custom like tiger cutout piece that's above the back door in my house, which is just cool, kind of tattoo style. Special Funeral is somebody that does textile work, and I just actually commissioned a huge piece from her that I love. It's like a fish being sold in a grocery store, like wrapped in saran wrap. It's this big funky thing. So I don't know that I have like a specific, there are three people that remind me of me, but I genuinely love art and I love the variety of it. And I think that I surround myself and am most interested in like art that isn't what I feel like I'm already trying to figure out. I like to see people that are doing things that are totally upside down from what I'm doing. I just appreciate that. So, I mean, if you were to go on my Instagram and look at who I follow, I mean, I follow probably, aside from some friends, probably, I mean, I follow like almost entirely artists, like 1,000, 2,000 artists, and the range is crazy. So, like, just, yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in a lot of different stuff, but I feel you got to shake it up, though. I mean, I don't know. I can't only look at people that paint blocky acrylic paintings. I'd lose my mind.
Long story short, if you want a list of Hannah's inspirations, go follow her on Instagram and look at who she follows.
Yeah, find a lot of stuff that way.
Hannah, I'd love to know, you've given us so much good advice, I think, for creatives at really any point in their journey. Is there anything you would tell people, anything else that you would tell someone who maybe sort of gave up art really young, but is eventually trying to like get back in? It's like, oh, I'm so intimidated now. I see all of these great artists and I'm older. Like, what do I do? Like, what would you tell those people?
I think I have a pretty specific example of what I would say for that. My main thing, and the thing that I try to tell people as much as possible, is to not worry about having a thing. Like, I think that everyone has this great pressure to have a thing, like a style or a specific medium, or like, really, oh, this is my signature. I do all my stuff like this. I think social media is to blame for this like feeling like you need to have like kind of a signature. I'm trying not to just say style over and over again, but basically to like have a specific style. And I think that the thing that prevents people from working is because they're like, well, but I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. Do I want to be an oil painter? I mean, but what would I paint? And then they don't do it. Like, well, I don't know. I'm really into this, but like, oh, I don't know, it's kind of been done before. It's like, it's stop, like, no, like, just stop. Like, basically, this impression that everyone has their thing refined, not correct, and I think is honestly really damaging, because it makes people feel like they can't just like draw anything in any way. If you used to draw and you want to draw again, the thing that you need to do is get a pencil and get some paper and then draw something. Like, look at something in your house. I don't know. Don't copy another artist's work off the job. I don't love that. But just like draw a photo that you took, draw a thing on your desk, draw whatever. And it doesn't have to be, well, but I really want it to be hyper real, or I want it to be really abstract, or I want it to be really like angular and style. Just no, just stop. Just the overthinking, the jumping 5 steps ahead, the if I do this, how is it going to fit into the greater picture of my creativity? Like, those things I think really prevent people from doing anything. So my advice is to not self-define and not feel the pressure to self-define. I definitely have a style kind of worked out now, but didn't for a super long time. And the only reason I do now is because of how much time I spent not having that, I think is really critical. So for me, you don't need to think that everything that you do needs to fit into some bigger picture. It doesn't need to be a piece of your new catalog or of your portfolio. It doesn't need to be the way that you plan to draw forever. You could just draw something and then draw something in a totally different style or different medium or whatever. I think that this concept of like having a thing that you're recognized for, I think is a trap. And I think it really prevents people from making stuff. So I sometimes still scribble things on my iPad, whatever. I mean, I never show on social media anything other than acrylic painting, but that doesn't mean that I refuse to do anything that doesn't fit exactly my style, whatever. So yeah, my advice for people that want to produce work is to just make something and to not worry about what that means for the future of the work that you make, because it doesn't. It is not relevant. One of my big personal examples of this is my transition from digital to acrylic. My first DesignerCon was 2015. The work that I was showing at that time, I was doing a lot of like kind of pop art caricature stuff. So like I would draw, like digitally draw like a creepy Mickey Mouse or like a creepy whatever is kind of the thing. And the reason why I was doing that is because a lot of people were doing stuff like that. Like, oh, let's take this popular character and like make it weird or make it my own or whatever. Everyone kind of goes through the same set of characters. It's like, oh, what if you did that with, oh, you did the Looney Tunes? What if you did like the 90s Nickelodeon characters? Oh, haha, what if you did like the cereal box mascots? Oh, cool. Haha. Like what if you did the modern cartoons, like do like Family Guy and The Simpsons and all the, oh, haha, wouldn't that be fun? So I did that because a lot of people did that, right? And at DesignerCon, that was like everything that I showed. That was all of my content on social media too, was like digital drawings of like pop art characters, but like in my own, like a little weird, whatever. And I just did that for years and years and years, but was also painting kind of on the side. And whenever I would post a painting on my social media, people did not want to see it. Like it was like by a significant margin, the least popular stuff that I ever posted. People would unfollow. It was just like, it was not it. The people that were following me specifically because of all this pop art caricature stuff. And I ended up feeling super trapped in that. I did stickers, I made coloring books. I mean, I had all kinds of merch stuff relevant to this. I did fridge magnets, I did all kinds of crap. It's like my entire profile. I had banners made for DesignerCon. I had big cutout pop-up things that I set on the ground. I mean, I was like, I had a massive amount of stuff all pointing to this and didn't love it and really just wanted to be painting, but like it wasn't popular, it wasn't the thing. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I can do that because that's not the thing that I do. This is the thing people want. I'm a digital artist, this is my portfolio, this is the way that it has to be. And I just stuck with that for a long time. I think that the work that I made suffered. I don't think it was very good because I kind of a slog. I'm just trying to come up with like what people want. What do they want? Maybe this. Oh, would this be funny? Do you think this will get likes? Do you think people would buy this? And I played that game for too long. And then eventually I bailed. I stopped, just 100% absolute skidded to a halt on all things digital. I just quit like probably 2018-ish maybe. So after a few years, people used to come to DesignerCon that saw me specifically to see whatever new character stuff I made. DesignerCon is always in November. I think I quit digital like in May or June one year and had already signed up for that show. I was just like, I'm just going to paint. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I think everyone that follows me is going to unfollow me. I had like 10 or 15,000 followers at that time. Like prepared. I don't care. Like prepared to lose it all. Whatever. This isn't what I want to be doing. I'm curious about something else. I just don't want to. So I just stopped. I never did any digital stuff like that ever again. I just got rid of all of my content and I just started painting. And I did hemorrhage followers for a while. Like everyone bailed. That's not the work that they're into. But what ended up happening is that I was honest about learning again and was like, I'm doing this because I love it. I'm trying to do this better. This is what I'm interested in. This is what I want to show you. It's maybe not what you want to see, but it's what I want to show you is what I do now. And I just did that. I just shifted. I just painted more, pushed harder on that direction. And even though the 15,000 people, whatever, that used to follow me, even though a lot of them bailed, like 100,000 people followed me because I think that what changed is that I wasn't the dancing monkey anymore. It wasn't like, hey, look at this. Do you want this? Is this cute? Is this funny? Do you like this? Is this, oh, here's a character that I thought I saw other people do this. How about this? You bailed on that. I think I got trapped in it for a little while there. And yeah, when I bailed just fully come what may, it ended up actually benefiting me really hugely. Just trying again and exploring and doing different stuff and getting back into painting. And now I think I'm madly in love with painting. And I think that that is pretty obvious. And I think that people like to see people being in love with the thing that they love, right? So, like, this feeling that once you start doing something, that's all you do forever. And this is your thing. And you have it figured out. That's what it is. And all these people want it. And the sunk cost fallacy with time. It's like, I've spent so many years on this. There's, what could I do? This is it. This is the end. This is my thing. Even as a professional artist, you still can get stuck in stuff like that. It helps anyone pick up from wherever they started or wherever they're feeling stuck. I would like people to know that it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a certain thing. We're not trying to win the affection of strangers. It doesn't matter. It doesn't all have to fit together. Digital caricature stuff doesn't resemble my painting work at all. It's a universe different. But guess what? So what? Who cares? It's what I feel like doing now. I feel like doing this, so I'm going to do it. And that's the end of it. The freedom to like try stuff and go different directions. And maybe you do this and then you never do anything like it again. It's all okay. But the key, I think, is to try, is to do, to make, to care, to want to make stuff. Soul of it is the thing to maintain and to not get backed into a corner. Things like social or expectations or self-defining, like that. So even for me this year, actually, I'm kind of changing up my work a little bit. I'm trying some new stuff. I feel like I've spent a lot of time kind of in the style that I've developed, which I love and love doing. But now I'm trying to like, how can I push this further now? And it'll work or it won't. People will like it or they won't. I don't know. That's not really my business as far as I'm concerned. You don't need to ever feel like you've landed. You will never feel like you've landed. You don't need to go into every project feeling like it fits or it works its way into your greater plan. The plan doesn't exist. Just sit down and make something. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's okay. Move on.
That is beautifully and well said. And I think that's, as an artist, that's a certain level you've reached. You've reached that certain level. It's very, if you read Rick Rubin's book, the famous music producer, he always said, I've never created anything for anybody else. Everything I've ever done is for myself. And if nobody else likes it, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do it from here, if you do it from your heart, if you do it because you love it, people will love it. It's an ascension as a creative person when you get to that, because you're trying not to put words in your mouth, but like you're saying, I want to fit in here. Or galleries, people go look at galleries and people give you the wrong advice. They go, well, do you fit the gallery? And people take it as, okay, I need to make my art fit that gallery. No, but that comes with learning and everything else, right?
Yeah, takes
So,
time.
thank you for that statement. I would love to talk to you forever, but where can we actually find you, Hannah? If someone wanted to look up and find what the next thing is that you're talking about, with the next crazy thing you're going to do, how would people follow you, find you, and like you?
Yeah. Well, I need them all to like me, first of all. Everyone really, it's really important. I have used a handle instead of my own name on the internet for 15 years now for some reason. So the Obanoth is the way most people know me. Pretty much nobody knows that my name is Hannah Webb, though it is. So theobanoth.com, the Obanoth on all social media, on TikTok and Instagram and all that good stuff. Theobanoth.com, theobanoth@gmail.com. If you type that in, even if you misspell it, you'll probably figure it out. But yeah, the Obanoth, Obanoth.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Hannah. And we do like to do something a little different with our show. The way we end it is we always give our guests the last word. So is there anything else you would like to share with the listeners?
Oh gosh, that's a lot of pressure. The last word. Okay, this is just maybe a funny story of perseverance. Is the very first year that I ever participated in DesignerCon, I was so extremely nervous because I had no idea what to bring. I didn't know if anything would sell. I didn't really know how to sell anything also. I'm like clueless. I'm feeling completely out of my depth. And important to note, I drive a Mini Cooper, which is very small. So the night before the load in day, I pack up my Mini Cooper with as much stuff as I could figure out to bring. I didn't have a tablecloth. I do not know how to do this show. So I pack up my tiny car by myself. I used to live in a studio apartment on the third floor that was all stairs. Like I'm taking trips, I'm sweaty, I'm hustling. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm terrified, I'm so nervous. But I'm like, I'm doing this show. I don't care. I'm not prepared for this. I am not qualified for this, but I do not care. We're doing it. Hell or high water, we're doing this show. Like, okay, so I managed to put a bunch of stuff together. I figure it out. I like go to the bank. I get a lot of ones and trying to figure all this out. I'm handwriting signs. I'm working on this for weeks. I pack my car. I get to the convention center. I unload. It's like half of my stuff. And I'm like, okay, the rest I'll bring in the morning. But I was working the booth by myself. I didn't have any help. I didn't know if I would need help. Turns out you do if you ever want to like leave and go to the bathroom or like get some food or so. It's a long show. No, I literally knew nothing. So I loaded in halfway and I went home and I was like nervous, barely slept, freaking out about this. The morning of the show, VIP opened at like 9 a.m. or something. So I leave. I was living in Los Feliz. It's not that far from the Pasadena Convention Center, but I gave myself probably hour and a half or something to get over there, something like that. I load up my car with the rest of my stuff. I'm on my way there. I'm on like the 210 freeway and my tire explodes. Like doesn't just like leak, like explodes like a gunshot. My tire just is absolutely toast, gone. And I'm like, oh, like what am I going to do now? I'm freaking out. I don't know what I have to get there. Like half of my stuff's there. I don't have help. Like it's gonna be there. My car is packed full, but completely undrivable. So I'm like, how do I get all of the rest of my stuff to the rest of the way? And it's miles away. So I pull over like off the freeway and just into the very first thing, which is like a gas station, like sort of mechanic place, which is just absolutely the most lucky thing in the world. But I mean, I should have just pulled over on the freeway. I didn't. I pulled all the way off, like took the ramp all the way off. I all the way gone, pull into this place, park my car. They're not even open yet. They don't open until 8. It's like 7:40 or something. I I don't know what to do. So what I did was I called an Uber, which I couldn't afford because this is back when I was super scrappy and broke and I had just bought all of this merch and stuff to try to sell at the show, right? So like I had invested pretty heavy to try to like get ready for this. I call an Uber and Uber shows up and I'm moving boxes from my poor completely disabled Mini Cooper. I'm like packing this Uber. This guy's looking at me like I'm insane because then I have to get all these boxes, more than I can carry, all the way into the convention center. So that's trips, that's multiple trips back and forth. So like I'm like, I don't know what to do with my car, but I can't drive it and there's nothing to do. I left the keys in it and I just like made a note or took a photo of where I left it. And then I just left. I just in the Uber straight to the convention center. I'm like doing the back and forth. I'm so sorry, but I have to get all these boxes. I'm at of course, the farthest end of the convention center. So he's stopped. There's a line around the block for DCon, all the people waiting to get into VIP. I'm sweaty. I'm panicking. I already have been so stressed out about this. I have like nothing in my tank, but I'm like I'm carrying, lugging all these heavy boxes back and forth into the thing from the Uber. Like I get in there, minutes to spare. I finally get to my booth and have all my stuff there. I'm like, I'm hungry, I'm sweaty, but I made it in. I called the car place and was like, there's a Mini Cooper in your parking lot with the keys in it. What could you do about finding me a tire before like 5 o'clock today? and it ended up working out, and they managed to help figure it out. I like called my dad freaking out. I'm like, I don't know, I just did it. I don't know if that was the right thing to do. I think that my takeaway here is all about being scrappy and just going for it. Things don't work out, things fall apart, that's okay. But it ended up being a really good show. I had a great time. I met a lot of people. The rest of the weekend was really awesome, and now it's a funny story to tell. But if you move forward as an artist with a fear of no and a fear of failure, it's just not the way that the world works. And so I forever will cherish that. Like, I overexerted to try to do that show for weeks. I was strung out about it, and then on my way there, of course, I like car explodes. It was just like the perfect storm of things not working. But it ended up being like really sunny and positive and wonderful in the end. And I had a great time. The show was great. But don't be discouraged is my final word, I guess. That's my big takeaway. Keep getting up. It's okay. It happens.
Thanks for checking out another episode of Origins, a Creative Journey, a DesignerCon podcast. Please follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're streaming this on, and check us out on Instagram at Origins, a Creative Journey. And if you have any suggestions or questions or comments, email us at deconpodcast@gmail.com. And make sure to get your tickets and hotel deals now for DesignerCon's 20th anniversary celebration in Las Vegas, Nevada, November 14th through 16th, 2025. I hope to see you there, but in the meantime, go make some art.